Outdoors channel. Today, guys, we're going to tell fishing stories. I've got all kinds of lures here that I've used in the past to talk about how I've caught fish and, things like that that's helped me over the years, and like baits and fishing poles and all kinds of stuff to go over. What's my favorite? What tactics work for me here in Indiana? And some of the wild stories that I've had fishing over the last, 3 years now? I think the 2 or 3 years here. But we're gonna get right into it, and this is gonna be really fun. So to start out with, my biggest bass ever, right here. Okay, I caught that bass at Shakamak State Park. Now that's a largemouth bass, and it probably weighed about 5 pounds. I didn't have a scale back then. I caught it in 2019 at Shakamak State Park in Jasonville, Indiana. Okay, and that leads me into what I caught it on, right? I caught it on this Guggen Squad pole by Favorite. I bought this in 2019. Okay, I've always been a huge Guggen Squad fan, and you guys will see that throughout this podcast here. That I really like the Guggen Squad, and the Guggen Squad started out as a hi, Christy, how are you? And I'm guessing Brian's watching too. Sweet, we got 3 viewers. Y'all come in and tell me who you are. I'd love to chit chat. We're going to talk about fishing right now. I'm just getting into my biggest bass that I caught back in 2019. Hey, buddy, I just had a deer in the yard about 30 minutes ago. I came out to set up this live stream, and I heard some rustling. Looked over, she's staring at me, and we had a staring contest, and then she kind of just trotted off into the woods back here, and then I walked over there, and there were some other deer back there. So hopefully I didn't bust that big buck off the scrape back there, but I'm going to have a scrape line all the way across the driveway, or the yard here, soon. But either way, back to what I was saying. 2019, Shakamak State Park, Jasonville, Indiana. I caught my biggest bass ever, and since then I've caught 3 big bass in total. But I've caught them on this Guggen Squad pole by Favorite Fishing. Now, they don't make this one anymore. Back in 2019, you could buy this at Bass Pro Shops for $60, and that was a expensive combo for me at the time. So to catch a fish on my most expensive combo on a Guggen baits company that was created by a group of YouTubers, on top of that, I thought that was pretty cool. Now, I do have an updated version of a Guggen Squad pole right here, which I'm trying to untangle at the moment. A Guggen Squad pole right here. This is the new Guggen Squad finesse reel. I bought it a couple months back because they were running sales on their website. So the original Guggen Squad pole is a 6'6" medium heavy or medium action 2-piece rod. And the reason I need a 2-piece rod is because I have a 2015 Dodge Dart, and it's just easier to pack these around. Now, one thing that you will see on my fishing poles here is my favorite kind of reel to use, and I have 2 different kinds here, is an Abu Garcia Vengeance Tactical open reel fishing reel here. And this is their open reel 30 size, okay, so it's a little bit smaller, and it's probably got about 12-pound test on it. But what I'm running, so on my other one, and like I said, I'm running another Abu Garcia Vengeance Tactical right here. And this is their 40. So it's got 14-pound test on here. And this is actually a 7-foot medium action rod from Guggen Squad. And personally, I like a shorter rod, but I've actually caught some good fish on this thing, so I'm really not complaining. And the reason I like the Abu Garcia fishing reels, right, is because they are from Walmart. They're normally $50, okay, but I've had one break, and then I go on eBay and I spend like $25, $30 for one, and then I get it replaced, and I don't think that's bad at all. YouTube, don't cancel your dream for holding those dangerous fishing poles. I hope not, man. It's a tactical fishing reel, you know what I'm saying? Don't shut me down. But in this video, we're going to talk about my crazy fishing story. So I already told you about my first time catching a really big largemouth bass at a state park here in Indiana, which was cool, you know, right here. Plug it again, right? I'm proud of this thing. 2019. So fast forward to this year. I live about 30 minutes from Bloomington, Indiana, and there's a place called the Tailwater Reservoir off of Lake Monroe. And I actually caught a 15-inch bass that my uncle John is going to make a replica for me. And he is a taxidermist out of Farmington, Iowa, called Premier Wildlife Artistry. John Jones, Farmington, Iowa. Y'all check him out. He's really, really good. And so he's making my replica right now. And this brings me back to the Guggen Squad thing again. Why I like Guggen baits, I always will. I caught that on a Guggen Squad bumper spinnerbait. Now, this spinnerbait itself is not the exact color. I caught it on blue and black. And you're going to see why I talk about blue and black through this live stream is because blue and black works for me in the springtime. Those dark colors, just like this, and I've caught some bass on this right here, the Strike King Micro King spinnerbait with the trailer, and we'll get more into that in a little bit. But I used this in the reservoir and caught that bass. Now, this one right here has the two circle blades, the Colorado blades, and the reason that that's good is because you're going to slow roll it. The willow blade's on a spinnerbait, okay, and I don't have one to show right now. I should have grabbed one. But they are made to slow roll against rocks, things like that. It's going to hit off. It's going to shimmer different in the water. And, you know, the fish in early spring when the water temperature is changing and all that stuff and the water's clarity is not as well, they like a slower moving bait. You don't want to burn that bait through the water. You kind of want to slow it down, pause it, reel it, pause it, all that kind of stuff like that. And so we probably have a scammer in here because it says this message was held for review, which is cool. I don't really care. But either way, I've had some good luck. Now, this exact one right here is Sunrise Craw. That's another good spring color to use is to imitate a crawfish. You know, a crawdad, that kind of thing right there. So, bring this up. This is, I have two different sizes of these right here. Strike King, Micro King, okay, spinnerbait, which I caught a lot of bass down at the creek. See, I live right by Salt Creek. It runs right down the side of my in-laws' property. If you guys go to my videos and watch a lot of my fishing videos, you will realize that I do a lot of fishing down at that creek, and I actually smash some fish, especially during the spawn, with this color right here. Blue and black, right? Blue and black, dirty water, works for me really, really well. Now, a lot of times with these spinner baits right here, all right, like this is the Mini King. It is a 1/8 ounce spinner bait, and this one is a 1/16 ounce spinner bait. And they all have the Colorado style blades on them. And I've had better luck with the Colorado style blades than I have with the Willow style blades, which actually moves faster and creates more disturbance in the water and all that kind of stuff. But like these are good for slow rolling on fish, and they seem to really work for me. This is actually the, what color is this one? Right here, the 69G. It doesn't exactly tell me, but that's more like a crawl color right there. Anyways, I will run these with a trailer just like this. This is a like bitsy jig or something from Strike King, and I have this Jehozy swim bait that I've had really, really good luck using. I bought these on a 100-pack from Amazon just like this. They come in all different colors. I've done reviews on my channel for them, so if you guys want to check them out, they're there. Reviews on my channel, and they look like this. They're just a little tiny swim bait, and I love paddle tail swim baits. I catch fish with them. Okay, that's all I can say. They work for me, and I'll put them on a jig head just like this right here. Put them on a jig head on something just like that. Rig it through, and I can run this through the water just fine as a swim bait, and I'll catch fish. Or I'll put it on a trailer okay, just like I have here. Trailer. It's going to add more action to the water, look like a bait fish coming through the water. And I'll even put them on my spinner baits as a trailer. Now, that being said, I love paddle tail swim baits, okay? Not last year, but the year before, I had some really good luck with some Yum Dinger swimming dingers. Okay, that's what these are called right here. And I would Texas rig these, okay, and swim them through the water, and I would have a lot of luck. Again, paddle tail swim baits, paddle tail worm. I really, really like these, and I've had some good luck with them. I didn't use these white ones down at the creek here back in like 2022, 2023. Me and Maymay 98, that's what we call my fiance, Maymay 98. We are heading out the door, buddy. DG, have a great stream, brother. Good night, my brother. Good night, all. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it, Brian and Christy. That's Brian from Our Ranch Airgun Fun Channel, one of my great friends. I'm so glad he got to make it. Hello, sir. Prince Ahire, I think. I'm sorry if I butchered your name wrong, but we're just talking about fishing and the paddle tail swim baits. Now, this season I used some black and blue. Again, I love black and blue spinner baits. When I caught this fish right here, I used a Guggen Squad Slim Shake worm, black and blue. Okay, March of 2019, I caught that fish. And I was using black and blue. That's why I like black and blue fishing lures. Now, I probably had like one bite on these, but man, they were nailing these white ones, and I've got the videos to prove it. If you guys want to go check out our fishing videos down at the creek, I think that thing will be awesome. Now, this year, I tried out some new products. We went to Patoka Lake, okay, and I tried out some of these Storm swim baits. Now, the cool thing about these Storm ones is they're pre-rigged right here, okay? Sorry, my nose is running. I've been fighting a cold, and so bear with me here. But they're little pre-rigged swim baits, and the ones I had was a tiger fire color, and it was a little bit smaller than these, same exact one. This is the Swim Shad Baby Bass color right here. Swim Shad Baby Bass color. And so I caught a crappie on one of these, but when I brought them down to the creek or tried them at a different lake, I really didn't have any luck at them. We were at Children's Pond at Patoka Lake. It's like a little pond that you can fish at. I got video of it. And Maymay 98 was throwing some worms and bee moths and stuff and having great luck with those. And we caught, let's see, this summer alone between the both of us caught almost 100 fish in 2 months. 2.5 months. I fished from about mid-April to mid-June, and then I'm done because it's going to get real hot. And I don't do a lot of fall fishing, but I'm probably going to pick that up. Matter of fact, Monday I'm probably going to go fishing and try some fall fishing. They say September is the hardest time to catch fish, but really, they said that anything will happen. The fish are suspended, shallow, low, in the middle. I mean, they're all right there. So hopefully I'll have some luck, and I'm probably going to use some night crawlers and stuff. But when I went back to Shakamak State Park this year, I joined a online bass fishing tournament, and I caught the first fish of the season, a 16-inch largemouth bass, and I really wish I could show more pictures on here. I need to figure all that out to where I can show pictures. But it was a really pretty largemouth bass, and I actually caught it on the blue and black Strike King spinner bait with the Jehozy swim bait trailer right here, and that was awesome. Shallow water, and it was freaking awesome, man. I have a lot of fun fishing. Now, this year for me, I had some paddle tail grubs, paddle tail swim baits that look like this. Same exact paddle tail swim bait. These are actually from Temu. The other ones I had were from Amazon. They were called Dove Sun. This is Fish Factory right here, and the colors aren't the same. But I slammed a lot of fish in the 2024 fishing season for me down at the creek and other places like that on a swim bait just like this one. Same exact one, different colors, different everything. And the way I rigged this, again, I just put it on a small little jig head, kind of like this one, just for reference, about just like that. You slide it on there, you're swimming through the water, catch the fish. I was catching bluegill, bass, crappie, all kinds of stuff on it. The smallest bass I caught this year was this big. The longest one I caught was 16 inches so far. So I mean, we were having a good time fishing out there. And I went to, let's see, Shakamak State Park. I went to Patoka Lake. I went to Spring Mill State Park. I went to the Avoca Fish Hatchery. And the cool and you guys want to check this video out. There are 10 ponds at the old Avoca Fish Hatchery here in Indiana, about 10 miles from where I live. And what it is, it's an old fish hatchery that shut down, and now they allow to do catch and release fishing. And I made a challenge to myself to catch fish at every single pond, and I did 8 out of 10 ponds, I think, which ain't bad. I'm on like worms and stuff, and I had a fun time. So yeah, you guys can check out all those videos if you want to. But these little paddle tail swim baits here that I've got, I can't say enough about them. I don't know why they didn't work this year for me as well, but I did catch a crappie on one. But last year, man, the bass were just slamming them. Just slamming them on these little tiny things right here. Okay? And I had a great time with it. I caught my first chatterbait fish ever down here at the creek. Again, blue and black color, spring and summer fishing. I can't say enough. On the Z-Man original chatterbait in blue and black. I couldn't exactly find that one. So, for this video, I just grabbed one, this right here. And what this does is this little blade right here, you'll tie your line right here to this little line tie. And this thing like shakes and makes all kinds of vibrations and noise in the water. The bass can't help it. They'll hit it. I've had good luck with that. That was my first chatterbait catch ever. Googan Squad makes a version of this called the clickbait, and I have a few of them. I have yet to catch a fish on them. As far as Googan bait soft plastics, and I didn't grab any out of my shed, and I should have, I've used the Slim Shake rubber worm. I've used the Bandito bug, the Trench Hog. Some of their soft plastics I really, really like. If I had to downgrade one thing, they make a crappie bait, and I can't exactly remember what it's called, but I didn't catch any fish on it. Panfish, nothing. They make a Googan Squad, like little junior creature baits and junior swim baits and stuff like that, and I didn't catch anything on it. But I still had a great time. So, one thing I tried this year that I had really good luck on is anything from Crappie Magnet. Now, they do make a paddle tail version of these, but I couldn't find them. I think it's in my other bag. But this is the Crappie Magnet thing, and they also make a panfish magnet. So what you get in this kit right here, okay, is some jig heads like that, and you get some split tail grubs, okay, just like that, split tail grubs. And I've actually caught a few fish on it, but what I really caught some fish on is called the panfish magnet, made by the same company, but they make really small, basically smaller versions of the panfish magnet, just like this. And for some reason, blue and black were slamming bluegill at the beginning of spring when it was still cold. Okay, right here. And I caught a lot of fish on that. And the things that are different with that is here is the jig head for this exact bait right here. Very, very small, very slender, whatever it's called. And here's the one for the crappie magnet. Now, they do come with these little floats right here and some bobber stoppers that you slide down and it stops them on your line. Okay, and this is all in this kit right here. Okay, you slide your line through there's a little tiny slit right here. You slide it through that slit and then you put that in top there and one in the bottom, and it's a bobber stopper, and it keeps your bobber from moving up and down. And I believe this was a birthday gift from May 98, if I remember right. And it's the crappie magnet, best of the best kit. I've caught bass. I caught bass on a panfish magnet. I caught bluegill on a panfish magnet. The one thing I didn't catch was a crappie on the crappie magnet. Right? I mean, that's what it says in the title right here. Crappie magnet. But I didn't catch no crappie. Hey, how are you, sir? We got a fish, dude. That's awesome, man. Hey, welcome to the live stream. Just going through why I like Guggen Squad, showing off my biggest fish ever. So now here goes a story that I haven't told anybody. Alright, I'm probably only going to do a 30-minute live stream tonight since I've been talking real fast and everything, but that's okay. But this year I got to fish with my dad on his birthday, April 3rd. We didn't catch anything. On my birthday, June 3rd, we went back to Shakamak State Park in Jasonville, Indiana. And here's a story that only my closest friends know. I haven't told YouTube about it yet. And we went to Lake Shakamak on a really cool looking like dock, concrete dock, and I didn't catch any fish there. And there's an overflow creek, I call it, from where the dam, and it's a creek that comes out to the dam. There's always been bass in there. I've actually, you know what? I take it back. I've caught 4 decent bass, and 1 was out of there. So I catch a bass, my brother catches a bass, my dad catches some bass on worms, right? And bobbers and stuff, because we weren't having any luck with artificial stuff. And then we go to the same exact dock at the end. We'd been fishing for hours. That dock right there, which is now extended back this way with some fingers off of it for tying up boats and stuff. And I caught a bluegill. Dad caught a bluegill. My brother, he caught that 1 bass. That was his first bass, by the way, which is awesome. Nice little bass, probably about that long, you know. Awesome. I got pictures all over Facebook and YouTube for it. But I catch this bluegill. All right. And I'm holding it for a picture, and I drop it. Right? And it's flopping around, and I'm trying to bend over and grab it, and I go to step on it. Inertia takes over, and I flip over and go right into the lake. Not joking. Right into the lake. Luckily, the only thing I can think about as I'm looking up out of the water is my $800 cell phone's in my pocket. Luckily, it's the one that I'm filming on right now because it still works. No audio issues. Dried out just fine. It had this protective case on it. I fell into the water, and luckily my dad and brother were there to pull me out. In order for me to really get good grip, like these were like on buoys, in order for me to get really good grip and pull myself out of the water, the boat ties were on the other side where I could actually grasp onto something, so they had to pull me out of the water. So that's what happened on my birthday this year. I'll never forget my 34th birthday, is the fact that I fell in the lake at Shakamak State Park fishing. And we all had a good laugh, but I was more worried about myself from getting ruined. My bank stuff's on there, my YouTube stuff, my life's basically on this phone. And, you know, it happened. But luckily, I do know how to swim, but I've never took swimming lessons, but I do know how to swim. But yeah, so far we've had 7 continuous viewers right now. I think my highest was like 12 or 13. I can't exactly remember. But hey, you guys got any questions about the fishing tactics in the spring or anything? I'm going to try doing some fall fishing videos. Early spring for me, when it's cold, like February, March, I don't do well at all. I struggle. But once late April comes into early May to June and July, I do pretty dang well catching fish. I'm not saying I'm perfect. But the fish that I caught at the reservoir on the Guggen Squad bumper, black and blue, my replica will be made by my uncle. Again, if you guys didn't tune in at the beginning of this live stream, shout out to Premier Wildlife Artistry out of Farmington, Iowa. John Jones, the taxidermist, that's my uncle, and he's doing my replica. When I actually sent him a white and pink version of this exact bait because I didn't have the blue one to go in its mouth when I get it. So we just been talking about what baits I like. Telling one fishing story. Trying to think. Have I been fishing out of state? Yes, I have been fishing out of state once. I was like 5 years old in Maine. My stepdad's from Maine. I think I caught a bluegill. and Tennessee. And I've got a cool fishing story that has nothing to do with me. My grandpa Harold had passed away in cancer in 2005 of lung cancer. My family had rented 2 big cabins in Tennessee, and there was a lake down there. And we had been fishing all day, and he had his pole on the boat in a rod holder. Okay, excuse me. On a rod holder. And he had caught a fish, and it pulled his rod into the water. And we're like, okay, well, that rod's gone. So he grabs another rod, and he goes, and he actually caught his other pole and rod and stuff and reeled it back in with the other fishing pole. And that's one of the last big memories that I have with my grandpa Harold. That was 2002, 2003, Growing up, I didn't do a lot of fishing, more hunting. But I do like to fish. I think 2019, a buddy of mine from work named Mark, which is part of the reason why I started this YouTube channel, because they used to give me a hard time picking on me, saying you should strap a GoPro to your head, no one would watch it, all this stuff, and so I started DG Outdoors channel. True story. And since then, now I'm 2,974 subscribers or 75 subscribers, so I'm almost at 3,000 subscribers. I've had this channel since 2019. We continue to grow. We continue to get a lot more views. All that kind of stuff. No, the fish wasn't still hooked on the rod. That would have been pretty cool. I don't know if we were in Pigeon Forge or not. I was like 8 or 9 years old back then. But it's still a memory I'll always have. Kind of like all the times I hunted with my dad growing up and never seeing deer on our property. And they own 8 acres. And now we got some big bucks on there. They live an hour away from me. We got big bucks around here. I'm pretty sure I scared one off earlier. I got some mock scrapes going on. I'm going to hopefully I got a big 9-pointer running around here and possibly a big 10-pointer at Mom and Dad's. It took me 17 years to get my first deer. I killed my first deer in 2023. I've been hunting since 2006. It wasn't for the lack of trying. It's the property. The deer would only be there during gun season. They'd run through. It's super thick. And I hunted a lot of public land. And I got my first deer 2023 with a bow and arrow opening day of Indiana archery season. 40 yards that way behind the house in a ground blind. So that's my success story. Said a prayer. Deer came in. Wasn't a great shot. I hit her in the neck, but she didn't run 40 yards and die. So within the last, 2022, me and May 98 did a lot of fishing down at the creek. We had some really good success, but then within the last, within the last 2 years, I've really hit. I've seen a few videos where people find a rod in a lake or a river, discover their fish was attached. Yeah, I saw a short of someone snagging their line. And it kind of bugs me a little bit. But someone snagging their line and still had a fish on the lure. And it's just dragging the fish up like this. And I'm like, man, if you're bank fishing, unless you like swim out there and cut that fish off, how are you going to get it off? I've always wondered. But, this year I may hunt some public land. It depends on what my friend James has going on. That was the original plan. But we're going to see what happens. I'm definitely going to be hunting here at Mom and Dad's. Tomorrow's going to be my Bear X 420 or Catalyst 420 crossbow video. I'm gonna have a blind review coming up. So Friday's video, I've got 10 bags of potting soil back here and some plywood and some tarps. Friday morning, I've got mineral licks set out, like buck jam and stuff that I poured down, and I have to get those removed. I have to dig them up. I've got one back here and one in the power line strip where you guys saw that big buck, that 9-pointer. If you guys watch my videos, the mineral lick by the power line strip check, it's on there, nice 9-point. And what I've got to do is, because I watched a podcast with a Indiana conservation officer, and they talked about how I have to remove the bait 10 days before hunting season if I want to hunt that spot. I know that. But how do you remove bait that's like buck jam that you pour on the ground? It soaks into the dirt and keep the deer from coming to it because it's considered contaminated soil. So what I'm going to do is dig up that spot, remove the dirt. I've got 2 stone quarries around me within walking distance. I can dump the dirt in. I've got a place at Mom and Dad's too where my ground blind is that I need to dig up. So I'm doing that Saturday so I can be within those 10-day windows that I need to be, so when I hunt their opening day, I'm legal. But I've got 3 bags of potting soil back here. I'm going to dig all that dirt out. I'm going to put the potting soil in there, and I verbatim, I quote, the conservation officer said, you need to at least try. I'm going to remove all the dirt, put potting soil there, put a piece of plywood over it with a tarp, put a tarp over it, put a piece of plywood, put bricks over it, so that way the deer can't dig into it, and at least I can make an effort to cover up those bait sites so I'm not busted for baiting during deer season if something was to happen. That's going to happen Friday. A video here on my channel of hard work and getting things done. And then the other one will be at Mom and Dad's. So I've literally got like sheets of plywood that are like longer than 2 foot wide. It'll definitely be enough. But I got to dig out 2 spots here and dig out one at Mom and Dad's and put that up there and try to do that. So I know I said 30 minutes, but I'm going to keep going. I'm having fun with this, really. I'm getting off the topic of fishing, but that's all right. So, one of the coolest fishing trips I've been on, in Iowa, my grandpa used to have a farm in Pulaski, Iowa, a dairy farm. And I stayed a summer up there working for him. And 4th of July came around, and all my uncles, because my uncles, like I said, my Uncle John's a taxidermist. My Uncle George and my cousin Jacob are deer processors, okay? And so my Uncle Josh, he likes to fish and hunt. All my uncles, my mom's got 7 brothers, they all like to hunt and fish, all that stuff, right? So, they took me fishing and a whole bunch of other out on the Des Moines River on 4th of July at night. My uncle caught a sturgeon. That was kind of cool. But the coolest part about this was watching the fireworks over the trees go off was awesome. Right? Was awesome. And, yeah, that's probably one of my coolest fishing trips. One of my most disappointing fishing trips was probably going to Turkey Run State Park this year because we went 4th of July weekend, which was July 6th last year, and everybody and their brother was on an inner tube on that creek, and it was crystal clear, and I heard there were some good smallies in there. Oh, that's another cool thing. So, one of my other favorite fishing videos was Memorial Day weekend of 2024, catching my first smallmouth bass. We have a creek here called Leatherwood Creek, and it runs through a place called Brookside Park. And Brookside Park is across the street from a place called Otis Park. It's a golf course. Okay? And the water was up. If the creek is low there, if Leatherwood Creek is low, you can see the fish swimming in there, but they're super skittish. Anytime you try to catch one, they're skittish. The water was up, and I caught a decent smallmouth bass out of there on one of these little paddle tails right here, like I was talking about earlier, right? Caught it right on there, and I got it on video. It's pretty cool. And then I caught another fish. It might have been another smaller smallmouth. Sorry. Yeah, I'm getting choked up. Probably going to get out of here in a couple minutes because I didn't bring a bottle of water like I thought I was going to. But either way, so the fish I've caught catfish, crappie, bluegill, like different sunfish, and largemouth and smallmouth bass. I've never caught a pike. I've never caught a walleye, any of that stuff. May 98 almost caught a turtle. That's the one thing about the Avoca Parks and Recreation, where the old fish hatchery is that the turtles are really, really, really bad. She's trying to reel it in. She had this hot chicken by Strike King on there, a pink and yellow bait. And a guy mowing his yard said, "Oh, you have to keep those." And I'm like, "It's a catch and release place. We keep this turtle." Number one, I don't want to deal with a snapping turtle. That's what they are. They're really bad about snapping turtles there. Snapping turtles are horrible there. And but I got over there in the line pop, thank God, because I've had to deal with a snapping turtle before, and it is not fun. That and snakes. I don't do snakes. I am not a snake person. I never will be a snake person. Ugh. I don't like snakes. I don't even like black snakes in my yard. Well, guys, there's some fishing stories there. There's some, some of my favorite baits. Why I like them. I probably should have gone them in more detail, but I think I flowed well on this one. Unlike the last one. Next Wednesday, you guys need to tune into this live stream. I'll be using my Chromebook outside. I'll be calling James home from the Scrape Doctor. He's the owner of Scrape Doctor. It's the company that I use to make my mock scrapes around here that I have video of a doe coming into from last night. Okay? And I'm hoping I had some more deer back there on camera earlier. But we're going to do an interview with him. He's going to be my first guest on the live stream here. And we're going to talk about what mock scrapes are. First off, what scrapes are. I'm going to have a whole bunch of questions. What mock scrapes are? Can you use them all year long? What's the good process of hanging a mock scrape the right way? Why would you use a mock scrape? I got a million questions. I'm a newbie to this. I'm running 3 on my property right now, and I'm about ready to run 4. They're going to go boom, 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 and then one back there by my other blind. So I'll have one right here by the power line strip, one right there by the persimmon trees where my blind is, one behind there where I've got pictures of deer at, and then one by my other hunting blind where I killed my first deer at. So I'm going to have like a line triangle thing going here. At least that's my plan. And so far, it looked like I had a doe walking right across the yard, like literally 30 minutes. I looked up, oh man, she's standing there looking at me, and I try not to move. And she kind of blows and kind of trots off. But then I walked over to check the scrape right there by the power line strip. I could see where some deer have been pawing in it, I don't have a camera on it. I need to. And it looked like he had some paw marks. And then I heard a lot of blowing, and a big old tail went up. And I bet that was one of them bucks I got. I don't know. But guys, this has been fun talking about fishing. James Home, Scrape Doctor, September 24th, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on the DG Outdoors channel. My first guest, y'all really need to come check out this video if you're interested in mock scrapes. Okay? And I'm telling you this because I heard it from his mouth. Okay? Sorry I missed the beginning. Bro, you're cool. I'm about ready to get off of here. You can play the replay, Escaping with the Suburbs with Scott Auld. I hope I pronounced your name right. The real reason I haven't put my name in a title yet, or my title, is because people can't pronounce my last name right. So I'm half Canadian French. Said it perfectly. Thank you. I'm half Canadian French on my dad's side. I'm from the East Coast. I was born and raised in New Hampshire, and my mom was from Indiana. So my dad's side of the family lives on the East Coast. My last name's Gelinas. Daniel Gelinas, right? You pronounce it in French as Gelina. And so no one could pronounce it. It's funny because Rob the Maritimer tried to say my last name. And I even tried to pronounce it out in hyphens on the channel. And I was like, it's all right, man. I ain't mad. People been saying my last name wrong my whole entire life. So that's why I'm DG Outdoors channel. So, if you, what we've been talking about is the biggest fish I ever caught. 2019, at least a 5-pound bass at Shakamak State Park in Jasonville, Indiana. And I've showed this off through the live stream. I've been going about 40 minutes here, so I'm probably going to jump off, man. I'm still fighting that cold a little bit and been coughing and my mouth is dry and I didn't grab any water. And we've been talking about my favorite fishing brand is Googan Squad. And I caught some of my biggest fish ever on Googan Squad. This was caught on a Googan Squad Slim Shake. I want to tell people about your magazine cover on my live stream tonight. That was cool. You can, okay? I should have a really good picture of it. So, I will say that was a gag gift thing I found on Facebook. Advertisements from Top Hunter come up all the time. It's from heydaddy.com, I think. And it was just neat. It tells my 17-year quest to getting my first deer. And there, I told the story about it here a little bit. Where I grew up, Mom and Dad owned 8 acres. And there wasn't a lot of deer going through there. You'd see them every once in a while. So I spent a lot of lonely times in the woods not seeing deer. And then, boom, they'd come up or I'd miss them or whatever. Gun season, they'd be running through there. And then I hunted a lot of public land. So in 2023, I shot my very first deer right here behind the house. Yeah, that was really funny. But yeah, man, you can. And actually, I ordered a fishing one, and it says fisherman, and I put the picture. Thank you so much for joining as a member. Thanks to you, and I want you to let your people know I started a members only thing on my page too for 99 cents a month. And so far, it's going to be members only polls, so they can kind of put their input in on what they want to talk about on the live stream. I'm going to do at the end of each month, I think a Thursday of each month, the last Thursday of the month, I'm going to do one and be members only. Hey, dude, you look pretty cool. Thank you, Deo. Just been talking about fishing lures and all kinds of stuff, telling hunting stories, all that kind of stuff. But members only live streams, and it's 99 cents a month. I really don't want to have them pay a lot, and I really hate doing members only videos, and here's why. If I'm going to make content, I want to post it right then, and I want everybody to see it. Right? If I'm going to do a live stream with members only, it's because I want it to be more personal. Some of my closest friends, people that actually want to hang out with me and not just stop in, say hey, and then leave. Very good. I'm so glad you did. Certain video members only, etc. Awesome, man. Yeah. And, but I think 99 cents is fair. I work a 40-hour job. I'm a housekeeper on a handicap unit at a nursing home for pediatric kids. That's what I do for a living. And I love them kids to death. I love hanging out with all of them. It's so much fun. But I work a 40-hour week just like everybody else. And I do this on the side and, you know. But either way, yes. So if you guys want to promote that too, become a member, 99 cents. Hit the join button on my thing. Have you tried watermelon red flake dingers? These are what I got right now. Right here. The pearl silver flake, which I've caught bass on. And then I love blue and black lures. You go watch the replay on this later, you'll see I love blue and black lures. I mean, I've caught some of my biggest bass, like I said, just like this right here, on blue and black lures. The replica I got, it was on a Googan Squad bumper. I've talked about this 3 times in this thing. So, watermelon red, I did catch a crappie on something like this. That's kind of that color. I do have some watermelon stuff, but I got to get out and try some different colors. But I'm a stickler. If I know it's going to work color-wise, why change it up? You know, murky water, creeks, lakes, ponds that I fish, dark colors work good for me. But I can always try some other stuff too. You know, and I think this next fishing time I start next spring, I'm going to bring back out and try some more of that stuff. Should I keep talking? Y'all, I'm going to get off here. This has been a great live stream. I want to thank everybody that showed up and watched this thing. Thank you to Escaping with the Suburbs with Scott Deo. Thanks for showing up. And anybody else on here. The watermelon dark green, red flakes on them work pretty good. Awesome, dude. I'll pick up some. We got an Ollie's around here, you know. I love cheap things. I got Temu baits too. If you guys want to see some Temu fishing lures reviews, I actually test the action in my bathtub. Like before, like back this spring, I'll buy fishing lures. I test the action in my bathtub. And I've got shorts on my channel of that, of Temu lures, Amazon lures, fishing lures like, you know, this right here, all kinds of stuff. And I try it on my channel. And I don't mind testing some things on in my bathtub. And people may think I'm dumb, but hey, how are you going to know how a fishing lure actually works? And peace out, bro. How do I know if a fishing lure actually works unless I test it? Temu, I got a whole tackle box full of Temu lures. Some of them are really weird. But either way, before I keep talking and get choked up, I'm jumping off of here. So y'all remember, check out my channel. Become a member if you want to. 99 cents a month. Then a video, guys, for guys like me who have never fished. A video for how to get started from the beginning. Okay. I can do that. We can talk about selecting fishing poles, certain baits, things like that. The easiest way to start, you know, the fishing knots. I could start that back next spring, start fresh, start a whole series from beginning to, you know, end on how to catch a fish. So guys, I'm getting out of here. I'm getting choked up. Y'all have fun. Join the membership on my channel if you want to. Thank you to all the viewers. I'm getting out of here, man. See y'all later.